Alright, so last week I put out a video of what my period was like the first time after being off birth control. So as I now move into the follicular phase, well, I guess the second part of the follicular phase, since the period is technically a part of this phase, but now that I'm moving past menstruation, I wanted to kind of record how I feel in this phase as well, see if it lines up to what's supposed to be happening, and hopefully get a better understanding of how my hormones act off birth control. And as you can see, I am currently doing my makeup as well. It is around Thanksgiving time as I'm recording this, hence the different background and the fact that there are lizards on the wall and fluorescent lighting. I am in my younger sister's bathroom. And it's a little bit harsh, but we're gonna roll with it. And during the follicular phase, which I'm currently entering, this is when eggs begin developing. Only one ends up actually maturing completely, but follicle stimulating hormones from the pituitary gland makes this all possible. Basically, these hormones tell our ovaries, okay, start producing follicles, let's get things moving. And then they start to produce these like fluid-filled sacs where your egg can actually form. And as that starts forming, estrogen is rising, which is what makes us feel so good during this phase in our period. Usually when you're in your follicular phase, your sex drive should be higher, your energy should be higher. This is really the time for socializing and hanging out with people, which this is Thanksgiving, so I am feeling social. Thankfully, I have the energy to talk to all of our family members that are coming over. I also have felt more inclined to do more intense exercise. If you watched my last video, maybe 2 videos ago, you know that I am actually going to physical therapy right now, so I can't really exercise or do anything too crazy. I pulled a muscle in my leg, but 2 days ago I did do a really nice arm workout that I really liked. It made me feel really good. I would love to hop on a cycling bike right now and do a workout like that, but I will just stick to my arm workouts and nice walks until I am fully healed. But I definitely am feeling that energy when it comes specifically to working out. I wouldn't say I feel any more optimistic. I feel pretty normal when it comes to that. But as estrogen does rise, the follicular stimulating hormone tells all of the other follicles that were building eggs to hold off. And the one that is most matured will actually produce the egg and come to fruition. And I am going to track how I feel over the next couple of days. I know that sometimes people's follicular phases last longer or shorter. My period was pretty short. It really was only 5 days, and usually it's a lot longer than that. So I'm thinking that my follicular phase might be a little bit longer than it usually is. So we'll see how long this energy keeps up. I'm feeling some of these things, but not all of them. I was looking online, and it's really common to have your skin be super glowy during this time. I don't know if mine's any glowier than usual, but maybe if I tell myself that, it'll look glowier and I'll start to feel it be glowier. Or maybe you can tell me if it's glowier, but I'm not really feeling that. But this is the point where you're supposed to pretty much feel like on top of the world, ready to go. Which I'm kind of feeling, but I wouldn't say it's any like crazy difference from how I was feeling over the last couple of days. But we'll see how that goes. I'll check back in. So it is now day 5 of my follicular phase, so 5 days since I last menstruated, and I've really been trying to pay attention to my body and how I've been feeling to see if I've been feeling those feelings of glowing, on top of the world, sex drive is high, feeling good as estrogen is rising in my body. And I definitely have been feeling more social, which is great because not only has it the holiday, it was Thanksgiving a couple days ago, but I've also been seeing a lot of people that still live in the area that I grew up in that I don't get to see very often, so it's great that I have been feeling very social. I've also been trying to pay close attention to my energy levels. I quit drinking coffee around a year ago, which I can get into in another video, but the whole premise of me doing that really was just help with my anxiety, and it definitely did. And I only really drink caffeine now, like a green tea or a white tea if I'm working. And not even sometimes. The last 5 days I was working, but I did not feel like I needed any caffeine during the day. My energy levels were pretty consistent, even though I was not sleeping that well, which is great to hear. It's hard sometimes to listen to your body, especially when you are trying to listen to your body feels during your hormone cycles. Your period is like your body will tell you when it's cramping, when something's wrong, and you get a sure sign, okay, I'm getting my period, okay, I'm not getting my period, it's short, it's long, it's spotting. But when you're in the other stages of your hormone cycle, the follicular phase, when you're ovulating, during your luteal phase, you don't get as much feedback from your body on whether or not it is, I guess, performing the way that it should. So although I do feel my energy and social levels rising, I don't know if it's just because I'm paying attention so much to my body now, or if it's because I'm not. Like, I've been off for a couple of days. I don't know. I definitely want to continue to pay attention to my body like this as I start my hormone cycle over again, just to make sure that these are the feelings that I'm feeling. So we'll see if that continues and holds. I am now 10 days into my follicular phase, and I could be wrong on this. I have to double check this, but I think days 14 to 18 is when you're supposed to be ovulating, or around that time. So I'm going to try to check as I lead up to those phases if I am ovulating. And the way I've checked that in the past is by tracking my cervical mucus, aka discharge. It changes consistency when you get closer to ovulating, which I will get into. But so far, nothing to indicate that I am ovulating, which is good because I am still in the follicular phase, and we'll see if my energy levels continue. But it really is, you have to pay so much close attention to your body, which is so hard. Not even just when it comes to hormones, but just to what your body's telling you, I feel like, in everything. Sometimes when you eat something and you're bloated, you have to try to figure out why. Sometimes when your stomach hurts, same thing's bloated. Usually it is all like my stomach hurting and me trying to figure out why my body is reacting in that way. But it is really hard to listen to sometimes because your body does not come with a user manual and you have to kind of guess a little bit. So by forcing myself to pay attention to it as I'm making these videos and as I'm thinking more about my hormone cycles has been helpful. So we'll see if that continues over the next couple days, but so far so good. It has been now 15 or 16 days since I menstruated, and I'm right around the time where I should be ovulating. And towards the end of your follicular phase, the pituitary releases a hormone called the luteinizing hormone that prepares the follicle to burst, aka release an egg, aka ovulate. And I am just simply not ovulating. It has now gotten to the time where I should be, and I just know that I'm not. Well, I can't say for certain. I'm like 80%. No, that's too much. I'm like 70% positive I'm not ovulating. I've been tracking my cervical mucus, which I'll get into when I talk about ovulation, and it's just not adding up. So I don't know if there's other ways that I can track my ovulation. Oh, actually, I know that you can take your temperature every day. So maybe that's something that I should try when it comes to next month and try to track that way, because otherwise it's just hard to tell whether or not you're ovulating. And ovulation is important, obviously. That is when you are fertile. So you can have a kid, so definitely important. And I think that I just need to find more measures to track my ovulation and to confirm whether or not I really am or am not ovulating. I feel like that will answer a lot of questions that I'm having around this phase. But really, overall, the follicular phase, I did find that my energy did rise in the beginning, but towards the end, like the last couple of days, I definitely haven't felt super energetic or glowing or anything like that. It kind of felt like it was just like a couple of days. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of days as I'm supposed to be ovulating, and then I'll eventually just get my period again. And I also don't know if everything is maybe just extended because because my menstruation was so short. It was only 5 days. Does that mean my follicular phase is longer and then my ovulation is pushed off? Fun stuff. But as always, thank you for watching. Next week I'll talk about ovulation a little bit more in depth, but that was my experience with the follicular phase. So thanks.